What's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 1990 cult classic film Home Alone. This is directed by Chris Columbus, starring Macaulay Culkin, Catherine O'Hara, Joe Pesci, many other people. This is such an influence on pop culture that so many films reference, Macaulay Culkin screaming. So many films reference paint cans being thrown from banisters and hitting people, micro machines, being thrown on the ground to distract people. That was a nod in The Night Before, with Seth Rogen and Anthony Mackie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Perfect film that it is. The paint can theory that was in Better Watch Out, that horror film, absolutely perfect film. We talked about that last year. So it's just such an iconic pop culture scene, right? So the premise is Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, is an 8-year-old boy. I think he was like 9 or 10 when he filmed this. Arguably the greatest child star of the 90s, like without a doubt, the most famous child star of the 90s. Him and Jonathan Taylor Thomas, like hand in hand. So Kevin is one of 5 kids in a very large McAllister family, and his dad's brother and their kids are over, a couple days before Christmas. They're all chaos throughout the entire mansion in Chicago. And they're trying to get ready to go on a family trip to Paris because another elder brother, has an apartment there and wants to treat the family to go to Paris. So Joe Pesci plays this character who's pretending to be a cop, just to make sure everybody in the rich neighborhood is, has safety precautions in order, for the holiday season. The pizza delivery guy is an A+ star. Oh, love that pizza delivery guy. He's so cool. Little Nero's Pizza. Great. I love pizza delivery guys in any film, just to be completely honest. They're just such an iconic staple, and they all are the same character. Love it. So Kevin is the youngest of 5, right? So he's the runt of the litter, the disease, the, pain in the ass to everybody who always causes problems. So he is punished because of a pizza food fight incident in the kitchen, when the milk is spilt on passports and all of this, just chaos, absolute chaos, with 15 plus people going on in the same house. So he is sent to the 3rd floor to sleep it off. The family then survives a windstorm that night. A tree knocks out the power. All the alarms don't go off. The airport shuttles are going to their house at 8 a.m. Everybody sleeps in throughout the entire chaos. They miscount heads of kids and adults. So everybody goes to the airport. Kevin is still sleeping. They don't realize that Kevin is missing until they're on the airplane going from Chicago to Paris. And then Kevin wakes up, realizes he's home alone. He's got his Christmas wish. He's home alone. He doesn't have his family for Christmas. So he, does what any 8-year-old does. He jumps on their beds and eats popcorn and climbs and plays with fireworks and BB guns and all this different, 8-year-old boy stuff in 1990. So in the process, Joe Pesci is playing a character along with his wet bandit counterpart, who the two of them are thieves. They're robbers. So they're hitting 5 houses on this particular block, and they scouted him out. And then they realize that Kevin is actually home alone. So the premise then, aside from Kevin, making friends with the neighbor that he thought originally was scary, is to trick the bandits, to, hurt them as much as possible with pranks, get them to the house across the street, which they hit before, have them arrested. So Kevin has all these different pranks. There's silicone on cellophane across a window, and then there's feathering incident. There's an M. McAllister doorknob burned into a handprint. There's an iron to the face. There's tar on the steps. There's a nail in the floorboard. There's glass ornaments under a window when somebody steps on them barefoot. It's just one after another after another. The paint cans, getting thrown from the banisters, the micro machines slip and slide, the tripwire, the zip line being cut, slamming into the wall, and then everybody convenes at the neighbor's house across the street, where the cops then eventually do catch them after the good neighbor smacks the 2 bandits with a shovel. So then Kevin goes to sleep asking Santa, I just want my family back. I don't want any presents. On Christmas Eve, his mom, Catherine O'Hara, is trying to get back to Chicago. So she goes from Chicago to Paris to Dallas to Scranton, meets up with some polka guys in Scranton who are driving to Milwaukee in a rented U-Haul, or rent a car, whatever it is, rent a truck. So then they have to drive through Chicago to get to Milwaukee. So they drop her off at Chicago. She meets Kevin Christmas morning. Merry Christmas, Kevin. And then his family shows up moments later, because the flight that they were supposed to get to Friday morning, they still kept that flight, even though his mom insisted on getting home as fast as possible. So they kind of all got together at the same time, and he's very happy. He waves Merry Christmas to the neighbor, next door, because the neighbor actually called his son to see if the son would forgive him for whatever argument they had all these years. So it's a nice reconciliation. The music is scored by John Williams, absolutely iconic. This is an iconic pop culture film. This has stormed, like I said, many pop culture references, many action figure, many Lego mock displays, like iconic. There are 4 Home Alone films. The first 2 are Macaulay Culkin. The third is Alex D. Linz. The fourth I've never seen. So the 3 I consider the most are those 3. I love the third. I think I watched the third the most when I was a kid. Me and my brother loved the third, especially with the remote control car and the pretending the swimming pool is not a swimming pool. That was really cool. We'll talk about that eventually, but yeah, Home Alone, awesome, iconic. I think another cool memory of mine is one of my old high school friends, back when we were friends in high school, gorgeous, surfer boy that he was. He would wear flip-flops in the middle of winter, had the mop top of dirty blonde hair, just, gorgeous, right? So he and his family every Thanksgiving night would watch Home Alone. That was their family tradition. And I don't talk to him anymore, but it's still just one of those things where I think of him and his family watching Home Alone every Thanksgiving night. I wonder if they still do that, but I don't care enough to reach out to ask him that specific question. But it is one of those things from, X amount of years ago during my high school days where I do remember him being happily talking about his family tradition on Thanksgiving night. They would watch Home Alone. So look at that little Christmas cheer, one and all. You need your family is near to bring in that Christmas cheer. Another quick little rhyme. All right, on to Home Alone 2, Escape from New York. Escape from New York? Escape New York? I don't remember the title, to be completely honest. Home Alone 2, it takes place in New York. All right, we'll see what happens next. Mucho mahalo.